Expected a game like this for the Patriots. Jew makes the pick, and Brady and the Patriots fall at home. 41-17. San Diego, we took that 21-game winning streak at home. Snapped. Last loss December 22nd, 0-2 against the New York Football Jets. 134 yards rushing for LT, 183 for the team. Tom Brady afterwards said, "We're not used to playing like this."
You go back to work. You go back to work. There's 12 games left, and no game is more important than the one we got coming up this week. We're going to go out to practice this week, get back to work tomorrow, and like I said, try to go out and correct our mistakes, because it's not going to get any easier. And, you know, like I said, you play good teams and you play poorly, you lose. And I think that's what happened today. San Diego played the game very, you know, as well as they could have, and we didn't. And, you know, you look back at the end, and 41-17, it's not very pretty.
Well, and he knows that better than all of us. At Atlanta and then at Denver next for New England before they have a bye. We haven't even talked about the Monday Nighter coming up next month against Indianapolis. Quick comment on San Diego, and then we'll look at New England. They came in, to me, it looked like a team that expected to play well and win in there. You go in and expect to play well, but you're not sure if you can win against New England. This was very impressive, San Diego, Tom.
Yeah,
what about the Pats?
Yeah, I think that if you have the confidence San Diego had, you do expect to win. But it was a matter of breakdowns, especially on the defensive side of the football. And that's our extra point tonight. You're talking about fundamentals, and we're going to take a look at this first play. LaDainian Tomlinson is going to take a handoff. You're going to see both middle linebackers, the inside backers, Chad Brown and Monty Beisel, in a good position initially to make a play. They get pushed outside of the lane that LT wants to run in, can't make the play. Willie McGinnis in good shape to get a jam right there on Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates, great move at the line of scrimmage. Once he gets by, he's one-on-one with Chad Brown. That is a mismatch for any linebacker in this league. The thing that they do best, fundamentally, I think, is jam people at the line of scrimmage and stop them from running their routes unimpeded. Again, look at your two linebackers. This would be where their extraordinary guys were, Brewski and Teddy Johnson. Now it's Chad Brown and it's Beisel. They're feeling their way around. And here's a look again. Look at the time. Used to that pass rush from the New England Patriots. Not there. Drew Brees, plenty of time to look, find a receiver, throw to the end zone. So I think that the one thing we have not gotten used to seeing with this football team is breakdowns and fundamentals from the New England Patriots. But if it happens to you, whether it's home, whether it's away, whoever the opponent is, you're going to suffer the consequences. So this is a big challenge for Coach Belichick to shore this up as they get ready, in fact, for their road to get a little bit tougher.
Right, and they're not home again until Halloween weekend. The area that's not injured is that front wall, Richard Seymour and company,
absolutely.
all right? So you know better than I, a huge pass rush can make the back seven or back, however you want to play it, look a lot different. They didn't have the huge pass rush. Credit the Chargers line. Chargers in a runaway, as it turns out. When we return, Peyton Manning. Well, we showed you the day Eli had Howard Payton. Oh, yeah, the struggling Colts offense, don't you worry. And Eagles and Chiefs. Eagles, dismal early. Chiefs at Arrowhead are so tough to beat. Would they finish the job?
Could he do it again? Would Adam Vinatieri hit another last-second field goal to nail down another Super Bowl victory for the New England Patriots?
And Vinatieri's kick down the middle. The kick is good.
And the New England Patriots were Super Bowl champions for the second time in 3 years. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected.
The undefeated and 3-0 Indianapolis Colts, Marvin Harrison and company, Peyton Manning in Tennessee. They've had some great battles, but this time Tennessee's the youngest team in the league. Peyton starts it off with Reggie Wayne. Where's it been? Don't you worry. Colts are winning another way in their first few games, but they lead 10-3 now. And a little history. Manning, Harrison, his 100th career touchdown reception. Congratulations. Tied for fifth at this point. Dan, 17-3. It's not only Dwight Freeney. Look at how quick Robert Mathis is in on Steve McNair, Tom. And then Manning back to work up 17-3. The little dump to Edgerrin James. Ed shakes a tackler, and he's in. 8-yard touchdown, 24-3. The Colts at Tennessee. Manning to Harrison, and this sets a couple of marks. Marvin, just the third to have more than 100 touchdown catches. Manning and Harrison, 85 times they've hooked up, tying our Steve Young and Jerry Rice most prolific duo in the history of the game. Roydell Williams, bam! By Bob Sanders. They have more defensive players than people know. Jarrett Payton. Mort tipped us off to this earlier. Jeff Fisher, who was a Bear, a teammate of Walter Payton, his son Jarrett Payton. He looked pretty good, Tom.
How great is that?
It was excellent.
And Fantasy World, shut up.
Yeah, the Colts are fine. So the Colts get 4 touchdowns from Payton. His brother Eli threw 4. Archie's going to have to pick a winner tonight. And the Colts win at 31-10. And we told you about Marvin Harrison. Just Jerry Rice and Chris Carter have more than Harrison's silly millimeter longer 101. Passing Steve Largent and Tim Brown, breaking the tie that he had with the legendary Don Hudson. By the way, T.O. is at 99 as well. Moss just a few behind that. Congratulations to the quiet man of the Colts, who looked awfully good today, Tom.
Yes,
awfully good.
Absolutely.
And they have a chance. They now play some teams that aren't so stout on defense. Don't be surprised if they're 7-0 in their bye week going into that Monday night game against New England. Meanwhile, no Chad Pennington, no Jay Fiedler. Vinny Testaverde signed 4 days ago, where Brooks Bollinger, a 6th-round pick a few years ago from Wisconsin, against the Baltimore Ravens, he trips over Curtis Martin. It's a 6-0 game. But Jamal Lewis fumbles the Jets' best chance on defense. It's a fumble, and Victor Hobson picks it up, and he could go all the way. They're going to score. He's tackled at the 1. Surely, though, from the 1, the Jets can get in. 1st and goal, it's Curtis Martin. No game. 2nd goal. Brooks Bollinger rolls out. He's got wheels, and they lose 2 yards. Now, 3rd and goal from the 3. Martin, no.
Remember, I told you I had concerns about the offensive line, their ability to run ball. Outstanding defense, but yeah, you got to get it in from the 1, Boom.
They did get a field goal there. The Jets defense tried it, but this is Lewis with a touchdown of 71 yards. And the Ravens over Herm Edwards. I mean, what are they going to do? Will we see Vinny next week against Tampa Bay? You just might. The Jets, well, eventually they do for over 100 yards, but for a while they had like 1 or 2 first downs into the 3rd quarter. What really more did you expect? The Orioles and Yankees scored 17-9 on a Tuesday night in Baltimore. The Ravens and the Jets, it was only 13-3 on a Sunday, but the Ravens get their first win of the year. When we return, the Falcons at home, even with Mike Vick sidelined some. How would they dominate Minnesota? Oh, boy. And the Cowboys stayed out west because they were going to try to do a Bay Area 2-step. Late win against the Niners last week. Could they win at the Raiders this week? We'll show you. You're looking at Larry Fitzgerald, who is a 2-time All-State and Prep All-American receiver at Academy of the Holy Angels High School in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was great then. Then he played at Valley Forge Military Academy outside of Philly. But here he is in Minnesota. I mean, and how are you going to cover all that back then? Average was 25 yards a game then. He's done pretty well since.
Primetime Flashback, brought to you by NikeGridiron.com.
Heads south of the border to Mexico for Sunday Night Football. The first ever regular season game in Mexico pitched the modern-day Gladiators in an NFC West showdown. It's a huge gala you won't want to miss. 49ers, Cardinals live tonight. Packers, Panthers tomorrow. The NFL on ESPN, home of Super Bowl 40.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Dallas Cowboys have played nail-biters all 3 weeks. They are 2-1 against the 0-3, but not playing that badly. Oh, Glenn Reed. Kerry Collins, play action. Gonna throw it to, you guessed it, Randy Moss. And Moss, 79 yards on the play. Terrence Newman, nice job.
Well, how often have we seen Randy Moss, great route, good throw, how often do we see Randy Moss get caught from behind? What a great release he gets there, gets into his route, concentration goes up once he gets downfield with the deep ball, but what a great job of Terrence Newman running him down.
Well, it's kept it to a field goal, but later on, Lamont Jordan with a 2-yard touchdown, and it's 10-0 Raiders. 13-6 in the fourth quarter. Drew Bledsoe hit hard by Bobby Hamilton, incomplete. Next play, you know the Raiders going to bring the heat again, and it's Derek Gibson, and he's tackled behind second base. Still the fourth quarter, it's a 16-6 game. Bledsoe looking left to Patrick Creighton, and he gets it. And the Raiders, what, wrap him up! Pathetic, 63-yard touchdown. And here comes Dallas again late. They've lost late, they've won late. Could they win late this time? 16-13. Janikowski field goal makes it 19-13. Then Bledsoe, Terry Glenn, woo! 57 yards. Later in the drive, tick, 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 tick. 2.5 to go. Julius Jones, 8 yards down to the 3. Second down. Tommy Kelly makes a big defensive play. Third down. Bledsoe looking for Keyshawn. Wrapped up. It sails over. What do? 19-13. There's only a minute 49 to go. They're going to go for it. And Terry Glenn, it's low and incomplete. And the Raiders are off the schneid. They've won for the first time this year. 19-13. Lamont Jordan ran for 126 yards in this game for the victorious Raiders.
Yeah, a lot of pressure put on Drew Bledsoe, and, you know, Randy Moss came up big. You know, he still seems to be punishing Dallas for passing on him.
He does. But the Raiders win it. Dallas stayed out at the West Coast, but they split these games. They actually won 2 out of 3, but their first 4 games were in California. Here we go with Michael Vick at home with the Falcons, trying to go to 3-1 against Minnesota. Vick rolling left. I don't think they're going to get him, Tom. 23 yards, first down. Later in the drive. Last week we saw Vick not out of the pocket that much as he was a little bit dinged for the Buffalo game. Did I say 23 yards? How about another 23 yards? And then Vick, if he's going to run, you can't watch everybody. And Algie Crumpler thrown nicely to the outside. Touchdown, 7-0 Atlanta, midway through the first.
Yeah, take another look at it. The great play fake. He puts the ball on his hip, hides it for a second, delivers to his favorite receiver, the best Crumpler, Algie Crumpler.
It's 14-0 Falcons. Dante Culpepper picked off by D'Angelo Hall. We saw him in that big Monday night game against the Eagles. Later, second quarter, bad news for the Falcons. Vick, well, ahead of myself here, as Atlanta's in business until here. Vick pulls it in, makes the quick cut. He throws incomplete. He's down in pain. He was hit hard by Erasmus James. Sprained right knee ligament. Well, we see him later in the game on the sidelines. Didn't look like he was in unbelievable pain, but we don't want to be doctors. So Matt Stump the Schaub is going to play the rest of the game at quarterback. But the Falcons are going to play the whole game on defense. Ron Coleman with the sack on Culpepper, and then rushing. They all run. Warwick Dunn, look at the hole. Look at him go upfield. 37 yards, 21-0. Wow. Later second. Oh, you think Vick's the only quarterback that can run, huh? Stump the Schaub. Look at him. Vick loves it. Yeah. So get this, Dunn 126 yards, Vick 58 yards, Schaub 56 yards, Duckett 40 yards, team rushing 285. Minnesota, they look horrible. 30-10.
Yeah, Mike Vick 4 for 58, Matt Schaub 4 for 56. So whoever you put in the game, whoever's playing quarterback, whoever's playing running back, they all run the football. New England's got a real test next weekend.
Plus, how about the pass rusher? Culpepper was battered.
Absolutely,
today.
absolutely. 9 sacks.
Well, we all know that Arrowhead is a tough place to play, but the Philadelphia Eagles, once they got this road thing figured out after a year and a half at the helm of Andy Reid, they do pretty well on the road. But you figure, the Chiefs embarrassed Monday night. They were going to come home to Arrowhead to play Philadelphia, and the Chiefs have such a high-scoring offense. Let's go with the highlights from Kansas City as the Eagles with Donovan McNabb hurting. And he says, you know what? I'm playing. You saw the show this morning. Hopefully, no surgery here for my sports hernia. But it was the Chiefs that were doing the surgery early. Priest Holmes, 7-0. Roderick Hood. And you don't see the Eagles special teams coughing up much, but to the 25, he fumbles, and Kansas City's in business, already up 10-0. L.J. Smith tries to console him, but they couldn't console this. Slant to Eddie Kennison from Trent Green, 17-0, Tom. And then, remember, David Akers out a couple of weeks. Todd, Viva la France, blocked by Eric Hicks.
Another case of France not doing a thing for us.
They have that habit at times. Later, that's good, Tom. Green intercepted by Sheldon Brown, and the game began to turn right here. 17-6. Although, extra point, you can't blame France for this, Tom. Detmer, they fumbled the snap from Mike Bartram, and it's 17-6 Kansas City late in the second. It just did not look good, and it looked worse right here. Dante Hall. Only France is... No, if France is not going to get it, they're on the Euros now. No Franks. He's gone. Dante Hall with a touchdown. It's sixth return of a kickoff for a touchdown. Tying the NFL mark, Mel Gray, Travis Williams, Gale Sayers, might have heard of him, and Ollie Matson. But here come the Eagles. McNabb to Owens, touchdown, 24-13. They make the kick. Not sure what that is, down 24-13, but we have a game. 24-16. McNabb to T.O. Could he get his 100th today? Nice play down the sidelines. McNabb, play face. And then Mike Bartram, he's open. Touchdown, 24-22. They go for two, make it. Then the Eagles make a field goal. France contributing. Hall returning. Don't tell me now it's changed this much. Dante Hall's going to fumble. The Eagles have the ball. So on 3rd and 7, McNabb over the middle. Tip Kendrell Bell. L.J. Smith catches it. Play challenge. Call the catch. First down. Leading to 2nd and goal. Donovan McNabb. The float to L.J. Smith. Touchdown. The Eagles, they come from so far down. They were down, what? 24-6. The Chiefs aren't done. Dante Hall as receiver. Hauls this in from Trent Green to make it 37-31. Onside kick coming. Reno Mahi makes the recovery. France singing the Marseillaise, kicking a few field goals. And the Eagles come from behind, down by 18 points at Arrowhead, and they win it 37-31 in a comeback of epic proportions. You talk about a bad week for the Chiefs. From Monday at Mile High, or at Mile High Stadium in Vesco, and now to this one.
Yeah, inability to stop the run against the Denver Broncos on a Monday night, and now you come up against the Eagles at home in Arrowhead. You get the lead, and I think that what's really going to be frustrating for this team is those additions they made. Kendrell Bell, Sammy Knight and company. You expected to play better defense than this against a team that you knew was going to be throwing the football. They were still successful.
And here's a good team, Tom, and you know how tough it is. You played there all the time. Didn't lose their confidence.
No, absolutely not.
We're down 24-6.
Absolutely not.
Stay at it.
That's right.
And
good
boy,
ball club.
Did they stay at it? A huge win for the Philadelphia Eagles. And now the Chiefs falling behind Denver and company in the West. Game balls coming up next. You might recognize the family.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected. Time Performers, brought to you by the all-new Civic from Honda. It'll reverse your thinking.
Boomer, my game ball is going to go to Peyton Manning. I can virtually guarantee our viewers this won't be the last time we do this. 4 TD passes, no interceptions. Typical day for one Peyton Manning.
But not so typical day, but it's going to be for his brother Eli. Combined, the Mannings threw 8 touchdown passes. Actually, Archie and Olivia, we're going to give you game balls, too, because look at what you brought us here.
For having them.
And look at some of the throws Eli made with touch and then with zip. You know, the Giants have scored the most points in football. Do you know that? The New York Giants. The New York football Giants.
G-men.
The G-men, they've scored the most. And still, the Indy, Cincy, Tampa Bay, Washington. Those are the 4 undefeated teams still left. And and the Colts, I think the Colts are getting set to go score a lot of points. 7, 8, no, we'll see. Agree? They're winning all different sort of ways.
I agree. They set the tone.
Well, and the teams learning how to win. The
That's
Cincy's and the Tampas. We thank you for watching this edition of NFL Prime Time. Sunday Night Football goes international. Niners Cardinals from Mexico City coming up. Week 5 in the NFL. For some, it's already do-or-die time. Brett Favre and the Pack hope to punch again. The Cheesehead hung a 52 spot on the Saints. Seems like old times Vinny and the Jets back. No Michael Vick. How the Falcons still took the champs down to the wire in Atlanta. The undefeated Skins hit Denver. Which red-hot team would cool off in Colorado? A Texas massacre in Dallas without the chance of how the boys flattened Philly. And did the master named Manning take young Alex Smith to school by the Bay? All that and more on NFL Prime Time.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Good evening once again, everybody. Welcome to NFL Primetime. Happy Columbus Day weekend, everybody. Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson. We begin the Columbus Day weekend with 4 undefeated teams.
That's right. That's right.
It's pretty quick to get down to 4.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll end the day with 4 undefeated
No,
teams.
you know that, huh?
I already know that.
Fair.
That's correct.
And we also began the day with a couple of totally defeated teams, although you had a feeling that what we saw on Monday night late from Brett Favre and the Packers might carry over at Lambeau Field as Favre and the Pack. His birthday, 36th birthday, can't be that old, is on Monday. The Pack trying to avoid the 0-5 start, taking on the New Orleans Saints. And Al Harris, hair flying, Pack happy. 22-yard interception, touchdown, and the Packers lead 14-3.
Yeah, Al Harris, a good bump on the outside receiver. He watches the slot come out on a flat route, reads the quarterback's eyes. Great jump on the football, and Brett Favre very pleased to get some help from the defensive side of the ball.
Ensuing possession, Aaron Brooks, and you know, he can look like this. This is picked off by Harris in double coverage. And so Harris with 2 in the quarter. The Packers on the move again. Later in the drive, 1st and goal. Najee Davenport squeezes his way into the end zone. Touchdown number 2 for Davenport would start number 2. 21-3 Packers. Favre, bootleg. Zing! Oh, man! Man, that was a blue dart to Robert Ferguson. 25 yards to 28-3. Bad news, Packers. Remember, Green is out on a screen to Davenport. Oh, man, broken right ankle. Davenport, season wiped out for the year. That's just tough to see him carted off. But it was a day that the Packer fans certainly would enjoy. Todd Bauman is in, picked up by Nick Barnett. And look at the big fella. He could go all the way. 95 yards for a touchdown. So the Saints actually led 3-0. But when you add it all up, 52 points later, the Pack get off the schneid. They win 52-3. Favre threw for 215, the biggest first half the Packers have had since Brett was a rookie, December of 1992. And you know, you just had the feel that, look, and start number 210, Brett, birthday tomorrow. And you also had the feel that the Saints would have some days like this. I hate to say it, Tom.
Well, they're going to have more days like this during the course of the season, but what we saw on Monday night, we see now from Brett Favre again on Sunday. 7 touchdowns over the course of the last 6 days. Only an interception to show for it, so what a great job by Brett Favre. He is not the reason that the Green Bay Packers are struggling.
But he's happy a day before his birthday.
You never know in this game. Who would have thought? You know, I don't think too many people gave us a chance to beat this team. I'm sure everyone on our team was questioning if we could, or no one in there, you know, would have even thought we'd have beat them if we beat them by more than a point or two. And I'm just sitting there saying, you know, this is a good example of anything can happen.
Well, look, in the span of a week, they saw both ends of it.
Yeah.
Look, in that division, I hate to say it, 1-4 the pack, they're in it.
That's right. I think the key here is this, too. We have seen Brett Favre change the way he's playing the game. You talk about those mistakes. I love the gunslinger in him. So he'd throw 3 touchdowns, he'd throw 2 interceptions, he'd somehow figure out a way to win the game. I think that what you're seeing now is a Brett Favre, and the organization has talked to him, being more careful with the football. I can't make the mistakes that I used to make. I have to depend on everybody else playing at the top of their game. I play at the top of my game. Maybe we get a chance to compete.
What I started to say before is, look, there's no excuse for 52-3, but Saints are going to have some weeks like this. Right. You know,
different standard.
They're only human. They're at least at San Antonio next week. We'll be back. And when we do come back on NFL Prime Time, Michael Vick not playing, but the Falcons gave the Patriots all they could handle. Tom Brady, immense. Eagles, Cowboys. The Eagles have beaten the Cowboys 9 out of the last 10, but not today.
NFL Prime Time, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected.
Hurricane Katrina has ravaged Mississippi.
Welcome back to NFL Prime Time, presented by Miller Lite.
Lovie Smith, new coach last year, defensive wizard, trying to change over the Bears. Off a bye against Romeo Crennel, a defensive wizard, and his new look Cleveland Browns. Woo. Thomas Jones ran hard at this game. You knew points would be at a premium. 6-3 Cleveland in the third quarter. Jones for 23. Jones for 25 yards. Look at him change directions down to the 11. 2 plays later on third down, the rookie Kyle Orton. He heard a who. Over to Mark Edwards, 8-yard touchdown, a touchdown, and the Bears are in front 10-6. Scary moment, Chicago. Jones takes a handoff up the middle, tackled awkwardly by Chris Crocker. Jones leaves the game with an injured right knee. So Romeo Crennel talking to Trent Dilfer on the sideline. We're down 10-6, so we got about 3 minutes to go, and Trent goes to Antonio Bryant. What a play at the back of the end zone with just 3 minutes to go. The 100th TD pass in Dilfer's career, and the Browns all of a sudden have the lead. Ensuing possession, it's a fumble, and the Browns recover. Adrian Peterson caused.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson right there trying to block Chris Crocker on the blitz. Good pickup, except he happened to hit the football, knock it out of his quarterback's hands.
Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator, loves it, and so would everybody else in Cleveland. When Dilfer to Bryant again, I mean, that's what, 38 seconds, 2 touchdowns in a pitcher's duel, and all of a sudden, the Browns and Dilfer go on to win it by the count of 20-10. Hey, Cleveland under Romeo Crennel is 2-2, and Dilfer, 100th start, career touchdown pass number 100 and 101.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers on Dilfer, the 23 of 34, 218, 2 interceptions but 2 touchdowns, managing this team and maybe doing a little bit more than that for Romeo Crennel.
Braylon Edwards, though, out. An infection had to be operated on in his elbow on Saturday night, so we'll have to wait for upcoming. Meanwhile, those old antagonists of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. Mike Mularkey said, my depth chart this week at quarterback, I'm not saying, no, not him. We're going to start him. They didn't say who, but it's got to be the youngster Lossman watching while Kelly Holcomb throws. And in the first quarter, Holcomb to Lee Evans, 49 yards, down to the 1, setting up a McGahee touchdown blast.
Throwing the ball downfield, something we did not see from JP.
Ryan Lindell has kicked the field goal, 3rd and goal now. Holcomb 2 yards to Eric Moulds. And it's 17-0 Buffalo. The second touchdown pass of the season, the first since week 1. Hey, one of the best. Number 34, one of our favorites, Thermal Thomas. There's the owner, Ralph Wilson, being hugged by Darryl Talley. There's Bruce Smith, Jim, and Andre. All the old Bills were there as Thermal is in the Ring of Honor. However, this game was not put away. 17-7. Jeff Scania recovers for the Dolphins. Miami in good field position as McGahee fumbles. And then Gus Farrat Randy McMichael, 30 yards, 17-14. Bills lead to 3. They've kicked the field goal to make it 6. But Miami keeps pressing after the 2-minute warning. Farad, Ronnie Brown spins, but hit by Nate Clements. It's a fumble. And the Bills recover, Tom.
Yeah, you take a look at the replay here. It looks like Ronnie Brown's knee may have been down just before the ball came out. However, not conclusive enough to overturn the fumble call.
And the Bills win 20-14. They force 5 Miami turnovers. Miami penalized 18 times in this game. Yet, give Nick Saban credit, the team hung in down 17-0 on the road. But with Holcomb, they were looking for a spark. And look, 20 points does not beat the band in Buffalo, but he completed 11 of his first 15, and they showed some spark on offense.
Yeah, I think we saw the formula that they planned to use from the beginning of the year. Play some good, solid defense, even though they have some personnel missing. Look for something from the quarterback and let the running back take charge of the football game. And McGahee, that's what they got. This guy threw for over 400 yards in a playoff game 3 years ago against Pittsburgh, so there was no doubt he could throw the ball downfield.
Well, and they host the Jets next week, so the Bills feeling okay. Let's go here. We got defense forcing turnovers. Maybe we can move on. And speaking of the Jets, they were playing undefeated Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay fought the law, and the law won. The Seahawks and Rams, this is an important game that a lot of people overlooked. Seattle didn't. A lot of points.
Leads the surging Cincinnati Bengals as they go on the prowl to take on the snarling, angry Jacksonville Jaguars. These cats can play, and this should be a rumble in the jungle. The Cincinnati Bengals battle the Jacksonville Jaguars. Live tonight, Steelers, Chargers tomorrow. The NFL on ESPN, home of Super Bowl 40.
Las Vegas is the site for another season of poker. All your favorite card players have returned to compete for big cash prizes. While a newcomer has his sights set on the ultimate title. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the 2005 World Series of Poker. Friday on ESPN.
The Fantasy Ticker, brought to you by Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American Revolution.
The Houston Texans' new offensive coordinator, Joe Pendry, upgraded during the bye week. Houston moved the ball some last week. Still looking for their first win. It's Houston old against Houston new. And you know what? Houston old's pretty good. That would be now Tennessee Titans and Jeff Fisher and Steve McNair. That was Ben Troop for a touchdown at 7-0. David Carr is sacked by Keith Bullock. A theme for the day and a theme for his career.
Yeah, take a look at Keith Bullock. He's going to line up between the guard and the center. There's zone blocking this. There's nobody over your hat. You got to block the guy who's closest to you. Straight line, beeline to the quarterback. 27 sacks on the season of David Carr.
7 today, registered by young Tennessee McNair to Drew Bennett down the sidelines. This is going to be 41 yards before he's corralled on 3rd and 3, and it's a 10-9 game. And now, how about this? Jarrett Payton, Walter's son, upgraded from the practice squad a week ago during Travis Henry's 4-game suspension. He gets a touchdown, 17-9. Then McNair to Bennett. That's nice. He's wide open. 16 yards, 25,000 yards, McNair in his career, and Tennessee in business, and now defensive business. Tip, pick, Andre Woolfolk, and the Titans go on to beat Houston 34-20, keeping Houston winless. And you saw Jeff Fisher. Congratulations to Jeff. 100 wins in his career. We told you that Jarrett Payton's are, look, Tennessee is the youngest team in football.
Young football team.
The toughest part of their schedule was September. They have a chance to do something.
And we forget how great Jeff Fisher is at doing this, bringing his team together and getting them to do the little things right.
All sorts, young and veteran teams. And now David Carr, this isn't a little thing. Remember when he was a rookie, 76 sacks. They were an expansion team. At 49 last year, already 27 times in the 4 games. None of them wins. So, ouch, babe. Meanwhile, a big game. Yes, that's right. I know the NFC West, say what you want about it, but Seattle and St. Louis and Mike Martz, good to see him. He had infection of the heart valve, missed a couple of days of practice, and he liked what he saw in the opening kickoff. At home, it's Chris Johnson, who could go all the way. How about that? Seattle, who lost 3 times to St. Louis last year, sees on the road the opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Now we're at 7-7 in the first. Watch how nice this is. Matt Hasselbeck to Jeremy Stevens, the big tight end, touchdown. 14-7 Seattle. Now tied at 14. Hasselbeck, what smoothness here. Zing, this was set up beautifully to Joe Juravicius. Starting, we'll tell you about that, but Joe caught 9. What an offseason pickup. The key word in that, he caught 9. Mark Bolger, Torrey Holt. He impressed us on the set with us. How about that?
Yeah, acrobatic catch, the softest hands in the NFL right there, and he showed you how you can use them for a great catch.
Later on the drive, a hand up to Steven Jackson. Michael Bulwer injured, taken to the hospital for x-rays on his back. It was very down a long time. Folks kneeling, but he was scheduled, and that was our last report, to fly back with the team. So that's obviously good news. Back to the game in which Seattle is up 27-21, 2nd and 3. Sean Alexander running hard off left tackle, shuns a Ram into the end zone, one of his 2 touchdowns, 34-21 Seattle. 3rd and 2. The pitch to Steven Jackson for the Rams. He goes in from 4 yards out. 34-28 Seattle. What a game this was. Back and forth. 3 minutes to go. 37-31. And Sean McDonald has the punt. E-I-E-I-O-I. He fumbles. Seattle. So the special teams, which gave up the touchdown early, gets the fumble recovery late. And what a big win for the Seattle Seahawks. No turnovers on the road, again, against a team that beat him 3 times. Juravicius starting in place of the injured both Ingram and Bobby Jackson. Another youngster started at wide receiver, DJ Hackett. And Seattle gets a win. Look, now they're in first place in their division,
right.
And again, after that opening kickoff return, I don't think you can underscore this.
We're a very resilient football team, and you mentioned the 3 losses last year to the Rams, 3 losses to the same team in your division. So it was most important. I'm going to pick out 2 games. This is the first one, must win. I thought even week 5, you had to win this football game, not only because it was at home, you had to win it to prove something to yourself. They did.
Well, remember the front running last year, then the Rams came back in that regular season right around this time and beat them up at Seattle after Seattle led by 17 points. Maybe this one, the world has turned. I know it's a long way to go, but a big win for the Seattle Seahawks. And again, on Coach Martz, good to see him back on the sidelines. You don't want anybody suffering from that sort of stuff. Meanwhile, when we return, Patriots, Falcons, a battle of heavyweights. Deion Branch from Louisville and Tom Brady, and some strange sights in the Jets-Tampa Bay game.
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected.
Matt Morton off the fist, a diving grab by Tavares in center field for out number 2. There aren't many he can't run down out there.
Visa Skycam gives you a look at one of the undefeated teams, the 4-0 Cincinnati Bengals. Sunday Night Football in Jacksonville at the bottom of the hour.
It's time now for your chance to win one of 100 Philips HD TVs with DirecTV service for a year. Log on to 100yardblitz.com to enter. The code word is football.
2 weeks ago, he's sitting in his Long Island home on the couch. Pennington hurt, Fiedler hurt. Now he starts for the New York Football Jets. Chad, good, it's glad it's the left hand waving. Herm Edwards gives him a hug. Meanwhile, they catch a break as the undefeated Buccaneers are in, but without Cadillac Williams with the foot injury on the sidelines. Brian Greasy fought the law, and the law won. Ty Law, looking like Ty Law, returns it deep into the Buccaneer territory, the 8-yard line. First down run by Martin, a very scary moment here. Rondé Barber mixing up with Kevin Mawai, swings at him, inadvertently hits Butch Hanna, the umpire. And a flag.
It's amazing he wasn't ejected from the game.
I'm surprised.
Just amazing he wasn't ejected from the game.
And good job, Butch. He stayed in. Personal foul against Barber, but again, he got to play. The penalty gets it down to the 2-yard line, which sets up Martin for a touchdown. Curtis's first touchdown of the season. Here we are, Columbus Day weekend, Tom. But it's 7-6. Now the Bucs have kicked the field goal 9-7. First possession, second half. Vinny to Doug Jolly, a Doug Jolly sighting. And Vinny 10 of 12 in the second half for 120. Martin plowing ahead, 3rd and goal. What do? Herm. Let's go. Let's go. And so you know there's going to be a tricky play coming. Well,
Tricky enough.
It's tricky enough. It's a touchdown. Curtis, my favorite, Martin, scores. It's 14-9. Now Vinny looking for more, but uh-oh, here's Barber. Picked off. Vinny shaken up on the play. And the Jets now up 14-12. The Bucs still with one last chance. This is later. 15 seconds left of the game. 4th and 2. Greasy to Michael Pittman. He gets out. No timeouts left for the Bucs. Pennington and the Jet fans encouraging the D. Next play. Greasy to Joey Galloway. But tick, 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 tick. There goes the gun. And the Jets have knocked the Bucs from the ranks of the undefeated, winning 14-12. How odd is it that Vinny, I know he was a Jet for a long time, but look, it all began with the Tampa Bay Bucs, and he's the one that knocks the Bucs out. Here's Vinny Testaverde, who 2 weeks ago said he was watching Sunday NFL Countdown on NFL Primetime. Now he's on the field, almost 42, leading the Jets.
Well, I think people need to also realize what they saw. You talked about the fact that he only had really 6 practices before he started as a New York Jet today. But I think he's very decisive with the football, and they had to use the pass to actually set up the run. So they were much more pass-oriented today than Herm Edwards, I know, would like to be. Pass first, run second. Boy, was he pretty decisive, Vinny Testaverde, in terms of getting off that couch and playing a winning football for the Jets.
And you saw the Pittman played all right, but the Bucs are not quite the same offensively without Cadillac.
No. Cadillac Williams is the thing that drives the engine.
Well, and so they lose for the first time this year, and the Jets are back in the mix. The New England Patriots, they're a team that certainly expects to be in the mix. Super Bowls 3 out of the last 4 years, but after being lambasted at home last week against San Diego, and there's no other way to talk about it, here they go into a buzzard's den here, nest, I should say. It's a bird in Atlanta, and the Falcons, without Michael Vick, still had a very capable backup in Matt Schaub. Here's our prime cut, and this game went right down to the wire. So the Patriots, they want to fall below 500, as was the case a couple of weeks ago when they went into Pittsburgh and won a nail-biter. There's Matt Stump the Schaub playing for Michael Vick. Tom Brady, he's got tight ends. Use them. Look at the whirly bird to Daniel Graham. This is a tight end who leaps and rolls for 45 yards for the touchdown, and you just can't knock him down, Tom. And he got some help at the beginning of the play.
Yeah, you're going to see the block here by Stephen Neal, and just watch what he does. And then he has the presence of mind to duck and get out of the way so Daniel Graham can get up over him and get to the end zone.
14-0 the Patriots. Now here comes Atlanta. So you figured, okay, Daniel, nice play. Matt Schaub from Virginia hooks up with the big fella, Brian Finneran, gets deep over the middle, 53 yards. The Chargers went over the middle a lot, and here comes Atlanta. Schaub, play action. Justin Griffith wide open, 2 yards, touchdown, 14-7. Closing seconds of the half, Michael Kanan, you know him from all the movies. He's the punter and kickoff man, 58-yard field goal, no good, but wait a minute now, like we used to do in the streets, it's a do-over.
That's right. It's going to be a do-over because Mike Vrabel right there turns around, clearly signals for the timeout and gets it from the official.
Well, it's 58 yards. I mean, there's no way he's going to. Wait a minute. It's long enough. It's high enough. It's deep enough. Good. It's good. There have only been 8 field goals in NFL history longer than that. And just like that, it's a 14-13 game at the half. Brady says, okay, remember Daniel Graham before? I do. 45 yards. Knocked deep. Very next play. Oh, we have another tight end. Ben Watson. Nice pass. 33 yards. 21-13. The Patriots, 2 plays, 78 yards. Corey Dillon. Don't overlook the fact that he had a 100-yard game before going out late. 18th player in NFL history to rush for 10,000 yards.
He has been a great running back in Cincinnati and here as well.
And you figured it, Tom, during the high holy days, why not air it out to Temple Bethel Johnson? It's a touchdown, 55 yards, and the ball almost went out of the screen. 28-13, the Patriots. Atlanta Do they get momentum here? DeMario Williams demoralizes the Patriots. It's the only turnover they made as the ball's batted. Here comes Atlanta. Schaub. He's got a tight end, too. You talked about him this morning. Algie Crumpler. Woo! 25 yards. 28-20. Falcons, later in the fourth. Under 5 minutes to go. 2nd and 10. They give it to Warwick. Done. 12-yard game. Now we're 4 minutes to go. Falcons down 8. Schaub has time. Floats to Des White. Touchdown, 14 yards, 28-26. They obviously go for 2. Did we say float? How about this? Nice play by Finner and a nice throw by Schaub, and we're tied at 28. But, you know, there's no way Brady and Vinatieri and the Patriots can come back. Well, Corey Dillon didn't come back, although he came back later, smiling on the sidelines. Brady to Deion Branch, ball knocked down, pass interference called with 3.5 minutes to go. Would he have another chance? Number 4. 1st and 10 from the 29. You know, played well. Patrick Ruff. I mean, his name is Patrick Pass, but he had a couple of key runs. And then 19 seconds to the tick, 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 tick. Adam Vinatieri, 29 yards. Good. Good. You can tell by Mike Vick's face. And look at the you don't see that with Bill Belichick very often. He knows they came in and played.
A lot of relief. A lot of relief today.
But the Patriots, with Brady being almost perfect, 22 of 27 for 350, 3 touchdowns. The interception was a batted ball. Vinatieri with yet another game winner. What's that? 19 game winners in his career. You saw the Patriots use the tight end, but it all is a result of something that they hadn't done much of this year, at least not successfully.
Well, yeah, they were last in the league running the football, Boom. So when you look at the 23 carries for over 100 yards for Corey Dillon, that's the beginning of good things for the New England Patriots. Leads us to our extra point. They began the game by running the football, and this would set up what they would do later on. First quarter, 1:15 left, fake screen to Patrick Pass. You come back to Daniel Graham. He gets the great block from Stephen Neal, and Daniel Graham wills himself into the end zone. And we come back here, just look right here, the linebackers biting on the run fake. Here allows Daniel Graham to get behind him. This is the first play, second half, 45-yard game. They come in double tights, get in a run formation on a 1st down and 10. Again, the good play fake by Brady to Corey Dillon. Ben Watson, the second-year man down the middle. 2 plays. We begin the second half by scoring. So I think the key here, this was the first time they rushed for over 100 yards. This was the first time they had a 100-yard rusher, obviously. They run the football to set up the pass. I think they've discovered something that we're going to see for the rest of the season from this ball club.
Well, look, I mean, I said it this morning, and for New England fans, I mean, they're going to be like the Red Sox. It's not like they have no defense. I mean, Atlanta did get 400 yards. New England got almost 500. But, okay, so not enough pitching, so we got to score runs, which means we got to score more points. And I think that you saw the Patriots use the weapons they have, the run, the tight ends. Oh, by the way, Deion Branch had a big game. New England at Denver next week, then a bye. Then they'll face the Colts in a few weeks now, who may be undefeated when they come in because, well, the Colts are playing the 49ers today. How did that go? And how did this go? Drew Bledsoe and Keyshawn Johnson in a big win, yelling at each other?